Hey, teachers! Welcome back to the Teacher's Lounge podcast, your weekly pause button where we get real about the challenges, joys, and transformations happening in our classrooms. I'm Rachel, and today we're going to talk about a kind of empathy that's becoming more and more urgent: digital empathy. In other words, teaching kindness in online spaces. Because let's face it, our students live as much of their social lives online as they do in the hallways. And while we spend hours teaching them how to treat each other face to face, the reality is that their words, reactions, and clicks in digital spaces have just as much power, sometimes more. Why digital empathy matters. First, the reality check. A 2022 Pew Research Center study found that 46% of U.S. teens have experienced some form of cyberbullying, from offensive name-calling to having false rumors spread about them. And nearly 60% said online harassment is a major problem among their peers. Here's the kicker. The same study revealed that many teens didn't feel equipped to respond constructively, either as the target or as a bystander. And that's where we come in. Digital empathy is the ability to understand and respect the feelings of others in online interactions. And it's not automatic. It needs to be taught, modeled, and reinforced, just like we do with classroom norms. Psychologist Dr. Michelle Borba, author of Unselfie: Why Empathetic Kids Succeed in Our All About Me World, points out that empathy is a learned skill that predicts better relationships, higher academic achievement, and even stronger leadership skills later in life. And in the digital world, empathy is a shield against the online disinhibition effect. That tendency for people to be harsher or more reckless online because they don't see the immediate impact on someone's face. The online disinhibition effect. Coined by psychologist John Suler, this effect explains why even kind, respectful kids might say things online they'd never say in person. The screen creates a sense of distance, reducing the social cues that normally keep our empathy switched on. Think about it. When you can't see the hurt in someone's eyes, it's easier to hit send without thinking. Our role as teachers is to close that gap, to help students imagine and consider the feelings on the other side of the screen. How to teach digital empathy and make it stick. Let's talk practical strategies, and I'll sprinkle in some subject-specific examples so you can adapt this no matter what you teach. 1. Make online tone visible. In English or language arts, try this. Give students the same text message, something short and vague like, "nice work." Then have them interpret it in multiple tones: sarcastic, sincere, neutral. They'll quickly see how tone is often lost in text, and how emojis, punctuation, or even adding a few extra words can make intent clearer. 2. Use role reversal activities. In social studies, when discussing historical conflicts or civic debates, have students take the digital perspective. What if these leaders were having this debate on Twitter? How would you reframe a confrontational post into something respectful and constructive? Practice pause before you post. In any subject, build short, think time before students post in class discussion boards. Teach them to run their words through a quick filter. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? This is based on the old Sufi Three Gates principle, which has been adapted in digital citizenship programs from organizations like Common Sense Education. 5. Show the ripple effect. In science or math, use a literal ripple experiment, drop a pebble in water, to demonstrate how one online comment can spread far beyond the original audience. Relate it to how rumors or hurtful posts travel, and how positive messages can ripple too. 5. Model your own digital footprint. Share with students how you decide what to post or not post on your own professional accounts. This normalizes the idea that careful posting isn't about hiding. It's about protecting and respecting. Research on the benefits. A 2019 Journal of Youth and Adolescence study found that students who received explicit instruction on online empathy showed a measurable decrease in cyberbullying behaviors and an increase in pro-social online actions, like defending peers and posting supportive comments. Another study in Computers and Human Behavior, Write and Walks, 2019, found that empathy training in digital citizenship programs increased students' willingness to intervene when they saw harmful posts, rather than scrolling past. And here's my favorite. A 2020 OECD report on global education trends concluded that fostering digital empathy is as critical to preparing students for the future workforce as teaching collaboration and problem solving. Why? Because so much of modern communication happens online, even in professional contexts. A personal story. I remember many years ago, one of my PE students posted a snarky comment about a teammate's performance after a game. It wasn't vicious, but it was public, and it hurt. The next day, instead of lecturing, I pulled the student aside and said, "I know you didn't mean for it to sting, but here's the thing. They saw it. And now it's in their head every time they play. What could you say instead that would actually help them improve?" We ended up role-playing how to give constructive feedback in a team group chat. The student sent a new message later that day. "You played hard yesterday. Let's practice passing drills together this week so we can nail it next game." Small moment, big difference. Teaching the link to life outside school. The beauty of digital empathy is that it's transferable. When students learn to pause, consider perspective, and respond with kindness online, they're developing conflict resolution skills, professional communication habits, the emotional intelligence employers are desperate for, and, perhaps most importantly, they're learning to be human in spaces that can so easily feel dehumanized. Your reflection moment. So here's your challenge for the week. Think about the last time you saw unkindness in an online space your students use. Whether that's a class discussion board, a sports team chat, or even social media. How could you turn that into a teachable moment without shaming the student? What activity could you add to your lessons this month that practices kindness online? How can you model digital empathy in your own interactions with students, parents, and colleagues? Remember, kindness online isn't about being soft. It's about being effective, building trust, and showing respect in a space where it's too easy to forget the human on the other side. You, teacher, are in a position to shape how this next generation uses the most powerful communication tools in human history. Let's make sure they use them with heart. If this episode gave you ideas, would you share it with another educator? Post it in your teacher group, send it to your PLC, or even bring it up in your next staff meeting. The more we model and talk about digital empathy, the stronger it becomes in our schools. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and tag the Teachers Lounge podcast if you're listening in your planning period. Until next week, I'm Rachel, reminding you that every click, every comment, every post is a chance to lead with kindness.